What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. After Sound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. All right, guys. Well, we had another town hall in the books. This is for Monday, March 6th. This was in the evening for me, so one of the later town halls in the day. And I'm here with my 5 biggest takeaways. Now, for those of you who might be new to the channel or new to the series, every time there is a town hall, usually weekly for Splinterlands, this is not a summary. I just try to take away the 5 big things that stuck out to me that I want to share with you. We got a couple of extra items here that I'll just touch on briefly. But overall, there are other awesome, fantastic content creators out there, both video and written. So what we're looking at right now is the official Town Hall's summary on Hive Blog or Peak D. So we're just going to use this as a visual reference, especially for eye candy, along with, of course, my notes here. So let's go ahead and dive in. Number 1. We have an updated exchange listing proposal coming soon. Now, this is coming in from Dave McCoy and the rest of the leaders, community leaders. They got together with the team. They got together with Ali from BFF, Blockchain Founder Fund, I think. And they're redoing the proposal and essentially trying to get it to a place where we can get one of those top tier exchanges. So what it's actually going to do, they have the notes here. They're actually going to increase it from 20 million up to 30 million SPS, so that there is a better shot of getting listed on Binance. And I think Coinbase was mentioned as well. And I think those are really the ones that people want to see. If we can get Binance or we can get Coinbase, those would be worthwhile in my opinion. Now, keep in mind, this is very time sensitive in many ways. So I think this proposal is probably going to come down very soon. And I think it's going to come from the team directly, even though it was the community leaders that worked with BFF and then with the team to get it out. So, just keep in mind that this is coming from people that we elected to get onto, or even if you didn't vote for them, they're still respected people in the community. Dave McCoy is probably one of my favorite people in the community overall. So shout out to Dave for coming on the town hall and talking it through. So you can see here, all proposals didn't pass, figured out what the issues were and reworked them. So we'll do a deep dive into that once it actually comes out. But the only details that were given were that it's 30 million SPS instead of 20 million as the max. And that is going to be going for these larger exchanges like Binance. Now, the other thing too, excuse me. The other thing, too, is that they've worked with the team, and the team is committed to doing more mini editions. Now, I don't know if that is going to be like more than what we already get. Like, Rift Watchers is the mini edition for Chaos Legion. We're probably going to get a mini edition for Rebellion. There was a mini edition for Dice, or Dice was a mini edition for Untamed. Are we going to get more than that? Because then we're going to get flooded with a bunch of cards. I don't know, but I thought that was the plan anyway. Ultimately, though, I'm cool with it. I think that this is a good way to spend SPS. Again, I'm gonna have to wait and read wait to see and read the actual proposal when it comes out. But for the most part, I'm on board with this. I think that this is a golden opportunity to get just a great on ramp. Sure, could it be a great off ramp? Yeah, but that also makes it a great on ramp for many people to come in. And yeah, I guess I'll be voting for it. So that's all that's really there. It says it's supposed to come out Tuesday, which is the day that I'm actually recording this, just because the town hall was so late last night. So we don't have that. But the time frame for this is going to be 7 days pre-proposal, 7 days actual proposal, and then they start working on it. And according to Dave, that's a several month process. So we may not see the fruits of this vote, the fruits of the labor that's going into this for 2 to 3 months from now. And half a month is just the proposals needing to get passed. So, at the end of the day, be patient if this is something that you want or don't want, but just be patient with it, and we'll see where things end up playing out over time. But if we can get that Binance listing, that would be pretty sweet. Doesn't matter if it's early and we're still way in the bear market. It'll just be good to have a good on-ramp there, in my humble opinion. Okay, number 2, this was on the roadmap that there would be a promo card, and it looks like we got a little teaser of that. Now, if you've ever claimed SPS, and I hope you have, if you've been playing the game and you've never claimed SPS, that's going to be a problem, but hopefully you have claimed SPS. You have seen this little goblin guy running around. Well, now they're trying to make this goblin guy, whose name is Vruz, into a promo card that will that is for like the SPS stakers. Now, there was a proposal that went through a couple of weeks back, and I just hope that the proposal for this or the details for the promo card are not like previous promo cards. I really hope they follow the proposal to a T and give it to people who are staking SPS, because I think that'll create a tremendous amount of not buying opportunity, but just like buying pressure for people that want to make sure they top off at, a certain, I think it was like every 1,000 gets like a BCX. So again, I think that's going to be great. I think that we should do that, and hopefully the team will work on it. He looks like, a tiny guy with a ton of SPS in his bag here. Here's another little thing with him stacking his bag and not stealing, but, taking stuff out of the reward chest. So hopefully this will be a fun card. I can imagine it being something that isn't like a giant when it comes to mana or health, but could be sneaky, maybe have camouflage. Like, I don't know. That's kind of what I get from this photo. So right now, all we have is the card artwork or the eye candy. But I would say the more important thing is we have confirmation that the team is working on this, and hopefully well ahead of schedule, so that we do get the promo card before the end of the quarter, as was planned for the roadmap. So that would be really awesome, actually, if we can get it by the end of the month. I think people will be really excited about that. Okay, number 3, and we are doing pretty good so far today. Land Phase 1. It looks like all assets have been given to engineering, and we are on track as of now to get land by the end of the month. And by the month, I mean, for those who might be watching this way in the future, the end of the month is March of 2023. Now, Nate said something awesome, actually. He's like, everybody in the team is aligned on this. He's never seen all the people, from leadership to devs to engineering to creative. Everybody is just trying to, it's all hands on board to get land out by the end of the month, the end of the quarter, as was promised. The team is doing whatever they can, whatever they need to in order to deliver this stuff. And I want to recognize that, because I think there's a lot of hard work being put in, and we on the outside just kind of take it for granted, because it's just like, when land? I'm going to put another meme, when land, right? But, this is not a small project, as obviously I think we've come to see. And I'm excited for it. So, I don't know what surveying will be. I'll tell you firsthand, I'm not necessarily excited about surveying, but I am excited about seeing the progress in land overall. And once we're done with land phase 1, well, guess what? We get to move on to phase 1.5 and then eventually phase 2. But I think 1.5 is actually going to be really exciting. So it's just like, let's get phase 1 under our belt, and then we can start to focus on all the cool stuff. And hopefully we're going to get a white paper out for that as well. Now, that was supposed to come out last week. Aggie said that, it was going to come out last week. And then he was on the town hall this week, kind of being super self-aware, which I love. Because he's like, yeah, I said it was going to come out last week and it didn't come out. But, we're going to try and get it out this week. But, I said the same thing last week and it didn't happen. So we'll see. But ultimately, I think he's seen a post of it. Farpetrad was in the Mav chat talking about the fact that he'd seen a rough draft post for it. So we're almost there. I wouldn't be surprised if we get it by the end of the week. I also wouldn't be surprised if we get it maybe early next week, mainly because I think the end of this week is probably going to be filled with some fireworks for the end of Chaos Sale. Now, at the same time, that hype could be what causes the end of Chaos Sale, because if people realize how many cards they need, or all that jazz, you might get somebody who just wants to ape into packs, and maybe that'll be the thing that sets us off and ends this crazy game of chicken we've been playing to see who is going to take the top spot. But yes, that is it for land phase 1. Number 4, and this is something maybe we can spend a little bit more time on, but Weirbeard was talking about, well, actually, let me roll this back. There was a question asking, and I don't know if they have it referenced here. No, there's not really anything about the Q&A. So somebody had asked a question about how, could the team, or, is there a way that we can say that bots shouldn't be allowable or playable in tournaments, right? And the way that they're approaching it is just by saying, can we change the terms of service for tournaments so that it is against terms of service? Now, it's going to be hard to regulate. It's going to be hard to enforce. But at the very least, what you're going to be able to do is just say that it's wrong, right? We as SPS stakeholders are the ones that get to vote on, not vote, but the SPS for tournaments is coming from the DAO. Right? So we can decide how that is. This is not a Splinterlands thing where Splinterlands, the company, gets to stay bot neutral. This is very much a DAO thing where we as the SPS DAO or SPS stakers and therefore caretakers of the DAO can decide that, for tournaments, we really don't want to see what's that called? Bots in there and making it anti-competitive. So I don't know if anybody's going to go out and do that, but Weirdbeard then was in the chat talking about the community can and maybe should do that. So again, I don't know what that would actually accomplish, how it would be enforced, what it would look like, but it is a possibility. And the more people talk about bots and banning bots and all that, I feel like we're getting closer to a solution, not the solution, because at the end of the day, like we want, the game is decentralized. I think bots will always be a part of the ecosystem no matter what, but you want to make it as fair as possible. And especially in competitive environments like tournaments, I think that's super important. So, ultimately, I'd be curious to see if anybody would be up to creating a proposal for this. Again, it can't be something half-assed that just says change the Splinterlands terms of service or change the tournament terms of service to not include bots. I think there would need to be some kind of like, okay, that's step one. Sure, it's going to be hard to enforce, but like, how do we do that? So again, there's no easy answers here, but it has gotten me thinking about like what that could potentially look like and how much power we as a community have within the DAO. Like, a lot of people are unhappy with the amount of SPS that gets given out to like all these high level tournaments. And if you want a more even distribution, that's something we could technically vote on too. And I don't think that people realize that. So again, I'm not saying that we should definitely pivot to that. I'm not trying to change the conversation, but ultimately it's just like we have control over what happens in tournaments, how things could go down in tournaments. And I think we should start flexing that muscle, if not to change things, then to at least discuss and see where we want, the future of tournaments to look. And so, ultimately just throwing that out there for people, because I thought that was an interesting point that was brought up. And if you stake any amount of SPS, you have a voice in this and could try to get people to your side and, potentially change the terms of service when it comes to the tournaments. Okay, number 5, the team has team planning next week. It looks like it's going to be on Wednesday and Thursday. So if I just look at the dates here, 15th and 16th. Now, this is their like quarterly agile planning. I just want to call this out because, they did... The last set of planning that they did was during the holiday season, during that December kind of lull period where everybody got super salty, myself included. And they've done a phenomenal job, in my opinion, of delivering awesome stuff. Now, I covered this briefly on the town hall, but I'm going to do it again here. Actually, I don't have it on this page. But if you go through the roadmap, and maybe I'll do this in a separate video once we get to see roadmap V2 or the Q2 roadmap. They delivered a lot from what they were promising in Q1. Now, there's still a couple things missing. Obviously, land is not quite there yet, but we're being promised that is going to happen by the end of the quarter. There's SPS delegation, which we haven't heard much about. But ultimately, everything else was kind of touched upon or at least put forth in a way or implemented fully. So that to me is really, really exciting. I don't know what things are going to look like, what the plans, how much might shift from the original Q2 vision that they came up with for the December planning and what the Q2 vision is going to be like for, for the March planning. But ultimately, there are some things that are going to change. Obviously, like I think guild alliances are still on there. That's going to go away. But for the most part, I think there's a chance we get to see some things added in. And keep in mind that, I know it's not necessarily Splinterlands related, but it's under the same umbrella and company. But Tower Defense could potentially launch. GLG looks like it is going to launch in June by the latest, right? We may get a beta for that in early Q2. So lots of exciting stuff happening within the space. And, I'm excited to see what the team comes out with after they do their planning session next week. So should be a relatively quiet, quiet week, maybe week and a half outside of the Land 1.5 white paper and Chaos Legion selling out. But I think it's a perfect time for the team to go in, reassess, reevaluate, plan, and then come out and execute and let us know what we can expect for the following quarters. All right, a couple of bonus items. It looks like there's a streamer mode update that's being worked on by Cryptomancer. He was on the town hall saying that he is kind of in between projects right now. I think they even have that here. Let's see. Words from the Wizards. There was something with Cryptomancer, wasn't there? Cryptomancer. I guess not. I swear there was something here. Oh yeah, words from the Wizard Recruiter. He's in between major projects. He's doing some tournament improvements, visible changes to streamer mode. So like once you've watched the battle, it'll show you the winner after you've watched it, which is going to be nice. The other thing that's coming to tournaments as well is you'll be able to put packs in rather than just relying on the owner or whoever the tournament creator to send you the packs afterwards. You can put packs into escrow the same way that you do DEC and SPS. And, that'll be great. But he is planning to work on future guild building. So again, we're not going the guild alliance route. And he did say that he has a meeting with Matt, I think later this week. And then they're going to iron everything out next week or, finalize it with the planning next week. So we get to know what is happening for that. So at this point, I would say, well, Cryptomancer hasn't really started on anything, so I wouldn't expect anything for guilds early in Q2 because he probably won't get started until after next week, which would be like, mid to late March at that point. But, it is exciting. I do want to see more guilds, more buildings for guilds. I want to see more use cases, maybe some voucher syncs, maybe some Rooney use case. So all that stuff has been teased. I'm excited for Cryptomancer to be moving on to that because he is awesome. So shout out to Cryptomancer. Other bonus items real quick. DECB is only going to be for burning, not for staking. Now, I've talked about this with several people on different live streams, so I just want to make sure we're clarifying this because Aggie clarified it on stream. DECB is meant to be burned. So for things like upgrading your guild buildings, hopefully that'll come soon, but on your land specifically, upgrading your land buildings when that is out, buying the starter packages because that DEC is going to get burned. But when it comes to staking monsters, and staking monsters is actually going to be a significant amount because you buy all the starter packages for a plot that's 30k DEC, but then to stake 5 maxed monsters, it's going to be about 50k DEC with the most recent kind of alpha that we were given from Matt. So that is not finalized yet, but that needs to be actual DEC and not DECB. So there's going to be differences in use cases there. So don't grab too much DECB. I would say grab exactly what you need for maybe the starter packages. And if you want to hold on to some for guild buildings or land buildings in the future, but just keep in mind, it'll only be usable for buildings, not for staking your monsters. Tower defense, nah. GLX changes and LP rewards are coming. I know that this isn't necessarily Splinterlands related, but there was obviously a big, people call it exploit or just price manipulation that happened within GLX. I did a video for that specifically, but Aggie addressed it here, so I just wanted to let everyone know in case they missed that video, in case they missed the town hall, but are interested in following the GLX project. And sure, fine, I'll go back to tower defense. Aggie said he tried logging in. This was yesterday. Today he actually did get to log in and was sharing some screenshots. He said it's pretty cool, but that's all that we have, and it makes me sad. And I guess I'm going to end this on a sad note. I really didn't want to do that. Overall, though, I think it's really exciting to see where we're at. Obviously, this is a much smaller town hall. They can't all be bangers. They can't all be, just crazy amounts of alpha coming in. But ultimately, still very informative. I'm excited about the exchange listing proposal. I'm excited about the promo card when that does get dropped. But overall, my expectation over the next couple of weeks is we're probably going to have a very quiet release date next week on the 14th. And then, the team goes into planning, and I would expect not necessarily fireworks, but hopefully some bigger releases or maintenance windows on the 21st and the 28th of March, mainly because we have tower defense. Hopefully tower defense, but we'll have land, we'll have a promo card potentially, and then tower defense if that hopefully makes it out before the end of the month. But that is all I have for you guys in this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you were able to attend, if you didn't attend, what you're excited about, what you're frustrated about. Clearly you can tell what I'm frustrated about, but I just want to play the game, man. I just want to play the game. That is all. I will catch you all in the next video and see you around the game. Have an amazing rest of your day.